Cancer is very preventable. I'm sorry that the medical establishment has not come to recognize what I'm saying. When we understand what's causing it and what we're not doing to prevent it or treat it, it'll be recognized as the singular greatest tragedy in the history of medicine.
Meet Dr. Thomas Seyfried, a Boston College professor of biology, genetics, and biochemistry. For 3 decades, he's investigated the root causes of cancer and how to prevent it. He's also a renowned researcher championing metabolic therapy for chronic diseases like epilepsy, neurodegenerative disorders, and cancer. Dr. Seyfried challenges a core tenet of modern oncology. While mainstream medicine views cancer as a genetic disease driven by mutations, he contends it is fundamentally a metabolic disorder rooted in mitochondrial dysfunction. His solution? Manage and prevent cancer by optimizing mitochondrial metabolic health. This video explores Dr. Seyfried's groundbreaking cancer research and his innovative approaches to preventing and treating cancer and related diseases. Over the next 10 minutes, you'll discover: first, how cancer develops; second, what triggers mitochondrial dysfunction; third, how to maintain healthy mitochondria to prevent cancer; fourth, the real diet for cancer prevention and cure; and finally, Dr. Seyfried's recommended effective cancer treatment. Please help millions of cancer patients worldwide by raising awareness. Like this video and share your thoughts on cancer recovery in the comments below. Our first focus today is how cancer develops. Most oncologists and scientists say that cancer is primarily caused by genetic mutations, but Dr. Thomas Seyfried denies this theory. According to Dr. Seyfried, cancer develops primarily as a result of mitochondrial dysfunction that impairs cellular energy metabolism.
Cancer is not a genetic disease. This is a mitochondrial metabolic disease of energy metabolism.
For a better understanding, let's start with what is mitochondria.
The mitochondria is actually another type of organism. It's another organism with its own DNA that lives inside the cell. It makes the energy so that the cell can do its normal functions. So if it's a liver cell, it will do liver cell stuff, maintaining blood glucose, maintaining metabolic homeostasis. If it's in the neuron of the brain, it maintains electrical signaling capacity.
Let's now hear Dr. Seyfried explain how cancer originates in the mitochondria.
And the energy that's used for all of this is the mitochondria. And the energy comes from us breathing oxygen. So every breath of oxygen that we take into our body serves as an acceptor of mitochondrial electrons to allow that organelle to produce ATP, which is the chemical energy. This mitochondria allows the cell to remain quiescent in a differentiated state to maintain metabolic homeostasis, so that all of our organs, brain, liver function, all work together because of the energy metabolism, because we're all breathing.
So every cell in our body has a specific job in the cell community.
So when that organelle gets corrupted in any particular way, in any particular cell, the cell either outright dies if the energy there is restricted to such a great extent, or in the case of cancer, it's a chronic interruption of energy from that organelle, the mitochondria. Chronic. Acute disruption will kill the cell, but chronic disruption will allow the cell to slowly adapt to an alternative form of energy, which we call fermentation energy, which is energy without oxygen. And over years, months or years or decades, some of these cells gradually adapt to this other form of energy because the mitochondria have become chronically incapable of providing energy. The mitochondria also control the quiescent state. And what happens is they slowly lose grip on the energy within the cell. This fermentation takes over and cells begin to divide, dysregulated division. The definition of cancer is cell division out of control. Ultimate result is a tumor.
So, where does the tumor come from?
It came from a gradual disruption of energy metabolism from mitochondria, leading to dysregulated cell growth.
All right, let's break down Dr. Thomas Seyfried's core idea. It might sound complex, but the heart is simple. Cancer is a metabolic disease starting in your mitochondria. Think of mitochondria as your cell's power plants. Seyfried argues cancer doesn't begin with broken genes, as many think. Instead, it kicks off when these power plants get damaged. Damaged mitochondria can't produce energy normally. The process called oxidative phosphorylation fails, so the cell panics. It flips to a backup energy mode, fermentation, even when oxygen is right there. This weird survival trick is the famous Warburg Effect, a hallmark of cancer cells. This isn't new. Nobel winner Otto Warburg spotted this sugar fermentation addiction in cancer cells nearly 100 years ago. But genetics took center stage, and his metabolic theory faded. Here's Seyfried's key twist. He's reviving Warburg. He says the genetic mutations we do see in cancer, they're not the cause. They're a downstream result of that initial mitochondrial meltdown and messed up metabolism. Broken power plant first, genetic chaos later. Why does this matter? It completely reframes cancer. It means treatments could target how cancer cells eat and make energy instead of just chasing genetic fixes. Each cancer type differs, but all share one commonality.
So all cancers are a singular type of disease. It's just that they happen in different tissues. But when you look at the underlying problem, they're all very, very similar. They can't live without a fermentation, which means energy without oxygen.
Dr. Seyfried now guides us to a critical question. What triggers mitochondrial dysfunction? He identifies several key factors capable of disrupting these vital powerhouses.
Exposure to chemical carcinogens, intermittent hypoxia, exposure to radiation, old age, viral infections, hepatitis, papillomaviruses, rare inherited germline mutations that disrupt mitochondrial function. Any of these are called secondary risk factors. Whole variety of things in the environment that can cause a disrupted energy metabolism in a cell, thereby leading to mitochondrial disruption and dysregulated cell growth.
He then points out the only cause of mitochondrial disruption
is damage to the oxidative phosphorylation capacity in the mitochondria. That is the origin of cancer. So there's one common origin, disruption of oxidative phosphorylation leading to fermentation. So all cancers, regardless of their organ, are highly fermentative cells, dysregulated in their growth, driven by two fermentable fuels, which is the sugar glucose and the amino acid glutamine. They are the two major fuels that we have found driving all cancers.
He argues that healthy mitochondria within a cell create a powerful barrier against cancer development.
So healthy mitochondria prevent cancer.
We now arrive at the crucial topic, how to maintain healthy mitochondria to prevent cancer.
So the question is, how do you maintain healthy mitochondria?
Cancer cells are different. They crave sugar and glutamine because their mitochondria are damaged. Dr. Seyfried says this broken energy system is cancer's root cause. To fight this, he recommends lifestyle changes, a ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting, calorie restriction, and exercise. These steps lower blood sugar and reduce glutamine. This starves the cancer cells of their main fuels while healthy cells adapt and thrive. It's a powerful, non-toxic way to target the disease by fixing mitochondrial health.
So the foods of our ancestors were very low in carbohydrates, putting us in nutritional ketosis. And that's why cancer in Aboriginal folks that still are on the planet, cancer is almost unknown, unheard of in these Aboriginal tribes of people who live according to their traditional ways, which was no high carbohydrate foods, a lot of exercise, mitochondria maintained in a super energy state, and cancer does not exist.
Dr. Seyfried notes that while cancer was rare in ancient people, it is now common and its prevalence is rising alarmingly, particularly in Western societies.
Cancer is being caused by our Western diet and lifestyle. So that's what's causing cancer. Cancer in our Western society is replacing heart disease, #1 killer.
So what in our Western diet and lifestyle is causing mitochondrial damage, leading to dysregulated cell growth?
And there's a whole range of things. Minimal exercise, massive amounts of highly processed carbohydrate foods in our diet, stress, mental stress of the kinds of jobs that we're doing. So you put all that together and we put ourselves at risk, not only for cancer, but cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, dementia, Alzheimer's disease, macular degeneration. You can go down the whole list of chronic diseases, and you can start to see a dramatic increase in all kinds of inflammatory chronic diseases as the result of our diet and lifestyle. The genetics has very little to do with this. As a matter of fact, our genes protect us. They do the best job they can at trying to protect us from all this stuff.
Moving to another vital subject, we explore the real diet for cancer prevention and cure based on the research of Dr. Seyfried.
Skipping meals, water only fat occasionally. There's a lot of things you can do to keep your mitochondria healthy. Normally, you would eat foods that have very low glycemic index.
Dr. Thomas Seyfried's groundbreaking approach does exactly that by targeting cancer's Achilles heel, its dependency on glucose and glutamine for fuel. His core strategy is profound yet elegant. Starve the enemy, nourish the ally. He targets cancer's lifelines, glucose and glutamine, while strategically protecting healthy cells. How? Through synergistic metabolic shifts that create an environment where cancer struggles to exist. A cornerstone of this approach is the ketogenic diet. This isn't just any diet, it's a metabolic reprogramming tool. By swapping carbs for healthy fats as the primary fuel, you induce ketosis. Here's the key. Your healthy cells adapt seamlessly, burning fat-derived ketones. But cancer cells addicted to sugar falter and starve. Imagine your plate transformed, rich in healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, and grass-fed butter, moderate high-quality protein from pasture-raised eggs, wild fish, and grass-fed meats, piled high with non-starchy veggies, think spinach, broccoli, cauliflower, with careful inclusion of nuts, seeds, and perhaps a few low-sugar berries. This powerful nutritional shift does more than induce ketosis. It reduces inflammation and optimizes cellular health. It's about building resilience from within. Could changing what's on your plate be the key to cancer prevention? The evidence continues to mount.
Low glycemic foods, foods that release glucose very, very slowly into the bloodstream, rather than like white rice, potatoes, pasta, all this stuff. This will give you high shot glucose in the blood. But grapefruit was a low glycemic. If you look at the types of foods that you want to try to say, well, I want some carbs, but I want low glycemic carbs, then you can go, there's a whole list of foods on the web that will tell you their glycemic index. And the glycemic index will allow you to take in those foods without spiking glucose and thereby not creating a major shift in your GKI values.
Dr. Seyfried champions caloric restriction as a powerful cancer-fighting strategy. By simply eating less calories, you're starving cancer cells while revitalizing your mitochondria, your body's cellular powerhouses. Fascinating research shows that practices like intermittent or water-only fasting create crucial metabolic breaks, potentially halting cancer's progression in its tracks.
Fasting is a powerful way to get your body into nutritional ketosis. Water-only fasting, it always works really well to maintain nutritional ketosis, low GKI values, low insulin values.
Dr. Seyfried cites the medically documented case of a man diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes.
And he did water-only fasting, metabolic therapy. Prostate cancer went into total remission. Type 2 diabetes went away. Hypertension, high blood pressure, everything went away. Metabolic therapy will get rid of a lot of things besides your cancer.
We now delve into our final topic, Dr. Seyfried's recommended effective cancer treatment. Dr. Thomas Seyfried champions a smarter cancer treatment path. His method employs metabolic therapy, starting with a doctor-managed keto diet to cut off cancer's fuel, glucose and glutamine, and using adjunctive therapies like hyperbaric oxygen and metabolic drugs, all under medical supervision. The goal is to exploit cancer's metabolic vulnerabilities while minimizing harm to healthy cells. He recommends low-dose chemo or radiation only for severe cancers, in conjunction with nutritional ketosis. Immunotherapy could also be used after suppressing the tumor through nutritional ketosis.
What we found is that when you are in nutritional ketosis with a glucose ketone index of 2.0 or below, we're able to show that chemotherapies at much lower dosages can be even more therapeutically powerful when you're in nutritional ketosis. So you don't have to get rid of a lot of these different procedures that we have today. I'm just saying radiation for brain cancer. I'm not saying radiation for lung or some of the other cancers. Because if you can shrink those tumors down and make them very weak and vulnerable, a surgical procedure, a radiation procedure, even low-dose chemo could come in, and even immunotherapy. If you took a big tumor and shrunk it down to a small nub, and it's resistant to a lot of the things, they all have to share something in common for them to survive this path. That might be an immunotherapy could come in because they're going to target whatever all of them have together, and you could possibly get rid of it that way.
Dr. Seyfried and his team are currently researching cancer treatment through metabolic therapy in combination with hyperbaric oxygen therapy, with several documented success stories already.
You take the patient, you put him in nutritional ketosis, and you say he's got low GKI. Then you go into hyperbaric oxygen, which dissolves oxygen directly into your blood now. It's better than just breathing 100% oxygen because you can actually dissolve oxygen in the bloodstream. Then you're taking away the two fuels that protect the tumor, and you're giving it internal ROS, which kills the tumor internally, only to the tumor cell, not to your surrounding tissues.
If you have learned something valuable about cancer prevention from this video, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to see more life-saving insights like this. Thank you.
Our next video reveals science-backed secrets to longevity that you can't afford to miss. Hit play now. Your future self will thank you.